So this, I really wanted to talk about this. Oh, pardon. It's like we're gonna go way beyond where I thought today, but I really need to talk about this next topic, and it's I've been speaking about Afrobeats the past few weeks, like the genre itself, just the Nigerian music industry, Afrobeats and all of that, the past 2 weeks, and we've been having. I've spoken about um just some of the negative things surrounding the surrounding generally like the Afrobeats industry. Like I've spoken about our reliance on foreign charts, how our artists go on all these interviews that don't really, that doesn't really help anybody. Right. I've also what else have I spoken about? Let me do a quick check here. Things I've spoken about in the past few weeks. I've spoken about the fact that we, the audience, we're not ready for Afrobeats to the world. Spoken about gatekeeping Afrobeats. Like I've spoken about a few things this past week, right? And the declining quality of album from Afrobeat artists. So I can understand why some people will be like, wait, guy, why everything is always like so negative around the industry? What is actually going well with the industry? And that's what I want to talk about today, because if sometimes I will say, some will hear me say I care, and then all the things I'm talking about are just maybe negative and all of that. But I mean, I've spoken positive about albums and artists as well, right? So I'm sure if you've been listening to this long enough, I know it's not all about that, but this is just me thinking kind of like out loud here. And I would say it's not all doom and gloom for the genre. It's not all doom and gloom for Afrobeats right now. I think there is a healthy population of people, like listeners out there, those who like both passive and people who are really invested. There are tons of people, especially in the diaspora, outside of Nigeria itself, who I would think, I'm thinking would actually keep Afrobeats artists relevant for a long time. I just spoke of King Madi, a Nigerian artist, being able to go to Uganda and pull off a show in Uganda. And I'm looking at the crowd. They know the songs. They are they're reaching out for her. And outside of the fact that, I mean, the future of Africa would also, I mean, economically and all of that would help. But I think before we get there, especially on the diaspora, I think the future is bright. Let me give you some example to just kind of show you what I mean. Sam Smith, one of the biggest artists in the UK, big also in the US. He's got about 52 million followers, and this is just on Spotify. Like if you go to the Spotify page, it states there that he's one of like the 44th biggest artist on Spotify. If you look at another pop artist, Demi Lovato, she's got 28 million. Khalid, another R&B sort of artist, got 53 million. Camila Cabello, another like Spanish pop artist in the US, 43 million followers-ish. Lil Baby, a rapper in the US, he's got about 33 million. Now, have you seen all the artists? Now, let me call our biggest Afrobeat artist. Now, this might sound like, and some people have used this data to kind of clown some artists, but like, on the Afrobeats, on the No Stand Zone podcast, we give you fresh perspective here and kind of put context to things. So Burna Boy has got 23 million followers on Spotify. Rema, 22. Davido, 7 million. Buju Benson, 4 million. Ruga, 4 million. Thames, 19 million. Ira Star, 25 million. None of these are our biggest artists. And some of the artists that I've called right now are not even close to being the biggest artists in the US, in the UK, in the genres like pop and R&B and hip hop. They're not even close to this artist. The highest on Spotify is probably, I think, Burna with 23 million, right? We Rema close with 22. And Camila Cabello is not even there in the top 10 of top like pop acts that are able to pull numbers, pull crowds in the US. And she's got 43 million. So where am I going with this? Burna Boy is able to sell out 20,000, 10,000, 5,000 arenas. Like he's doing arena tours around the world. I can confidently tell you, Lil Baby is not doing that. And he's got two times, or how many times of Davido and Benson and Ruger's crowd. What am I about to say? Followers and monthly listeners and all of that, followers on Spotify. But he's not, Lil Baby is not able to pull and go on tour as frequent as Rema is going on tour. Literally, Davido just sold out. I mean, a few years ago, he sold out the O2. I mean, like 3 days or 2 days in a row. I can tell you that Camila Cabello is not able to do that. Why do I mention all of this? Our future is way outside, or the where we eat and we make our bag is not on these digital platforms. And I think that is a blessing for this genre. Now, we might be noticing that our artists are not able to get maybe 300 million streams. But that, I think in today's world, that doesn't tell us how truly our artists are doing. The DSP is not a true measure of success, because Burna Boy should not be able to sell out the arena tour he's been doing for the past 2 years. Like, this guy freaking sold out the Madison Square Garden and so many arenas around Europe with less monthly listeners than some of the top folks with streams online. So to our Afrobeat artists today, go on tour. The Africans and Nigerians in diaspora, I think they are the backbone of this industry. If you're good enough, they will spend. Young John was going to go on tour last year, and some of the event places he was speaking, people were trying to laugh at him. And I remember when I was on a space, and I was like, people, you guys are so sick and so ignorant. Not many artists are able to go on tour. Notable artists in popular genres around the world are canceling their tours. Any artist that is able to tour 5 cities, 10 cities today, and I'm not talking about just a room full of people, like you can actually gather 10,000 people together, you're in the 10%, it may be even less than that, of artists around the world. Not everybody is able to do that. If you're able to tour, you can make money. You can eat for the rest of your life as an artist. If all you do is release your album, you know where your followers, your listeners are, those who are ready to invest in you, you know where they are, you're able to target them. They will really, buy merch from you. They will buy your music. They will show up to your shows and all of that. Bro, you good. This music industry generally, like around the world, it's not getting like a bed of roses everywhere. If you're able to release music today, you have dedicated followers around the world, not just in the locality where you are. And you can go on tour in different continents. You are in the right track. Our artists are able to go on tour. Rema can go on tour. Ruger can go on tour. Like, Ruger released an album last year. Probably most people did not give it like great reviews, like it was none of the greatest albums or whatever. But this guy was causing havoc everywhere he went with ladies, and people were ready to throw themselves on him. Like, the people who show up for him really love him, love his performance, just want to be around him. They love his music. And the thing is, the same artists most times, the same people who show up for Ruger, most likely 60% of